What's up, everybody? GWTX7 here, and today we course my anime subcorner. And then, as always, I have been watching the three shows that I have picked out: My Hero Academia, Three Leaves, Three Colors, and Ace Attorney. Objection! So let's jump right into this. The first one we'll be talking about is My Hero Academia, of course, episode 5. Making sure we got that right. This episode is pretty cool. It's basically Azuka's first day going to school, which is cool. And, you know, he finally passed his test. His test was he passed it. I think he was like the 7th on the list. And his friend, his rival, whatever you want to call him, he got like the villain. It looked like it's a villain on it. Like he got number 1, but it said like a villain. That dude's like going all psycho. I don't know what's up with his rival friend, whatever you want to call it. And the dude with the glasses with the engineering things, who was like, last episode was like, oh man, that was part of the test, saving the girl, saving people. Yes, you want to be a hero, you want to save people. He comes and he's trying to be friends with Azuka now, because you know he wants to be, I guess, the nice guy. He tried to introduce himself to the a rival of Azuka, and he's like, got his feet, he's trying to tell him, hey, get your feet off the desk, man, that's not cool. And you know, I guess he's like soldier boy, you know, he wants to follow the rules. But, you know, and he tries to introduce himself to Azuka, and, you know, he's like, okay, that's cool, you know, Azuka. And then the girl, and Azuka's going, oh, his face is turning red, and, you know, I'll try to get these names in this brain sooner or later. Right now, Almighty, which is Azuka's mentor and trainer, and Azuka's the only two that I'm remembering, and it's hard to get names when they're in Japanese, and like I said, I'm watching the sub, so and which is cool about My Hero Academia, it's getting a dub, and it will be on the double top block, which I'll be watching tomorrow, which would be Wednesday, so that's cool. So I'll get more familiar with their names as soon as that comes on, because I'll watch that too. I watch that every Wednesday too. So this is all about his first test, because the teacher, his homeroom teacher, who's Almighty's rival, and he dislikes Almighty because I guess they have a history together and they don't really like each other, and he knows that Azuka has a problem. Because he just got his quirk, or his superpower. We'll just call it a superpower. He just got his superpower, and he's not able to control it properly. And he knows this. This is all about, geez, I can't control my powers. He doesn't want to break his arms and legs like he did the last time. So the whole thing was, if you don't pass at least one test, if you fail all 8 tests, he had 8 trials. If you can't even pass one, you're getting expelled. And this was all targeted at Azuka, because their homeroom teacher, which was cool, he came into the classroom in a sleeping bag. This dude looks like he rarely gets any sleep. You know, and the whole episode, Azuka's he's holding back his powers because he knows if he loses control, he's going to break something on his body. And the teacher notices, because the last test was throwing the ball test, because the first test was them running. I know there was a long jump there, and there was I don't know, there's a couple ones I couldn't explain. I had my scratch in my head there, like, what are these? What's that for? I guess there's some type of superhero test, so I couldn't explain them all. But the last test was they're gonna chuck a ball, and the girl she was failing all of her tests. The last test, she throws the ball. It's funny because it never comes back, and it's like infinity. And she got like this is on his phone. He has like this phone for grading. It said infinity. And he's like, "Ooh, she got an infinity." I was like, "Oh, I guess that's the highest grade you can get, infinity." So, Izuka is there, and he's about to just use his power. He knows if he fails this test, it's over. One broken arm is fine. So he's like, screw it. I'm going to use the power, and I'm going to throw this ball. And just as he's about to use all his power and throw the ball, apparently the teacher can erase a quirk. And he's like, no, 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 no. You can't be a hero that way. You can't break your arm and be a hero. You can't destroy yourself and be a hero, because that just makes you useless at that point. And he's like, okay. At first, he felt bad. Izuka felt bad about himself. He was like, oh, he took it really hard. And then he started thinking about what the teacher told him. And the teacher was teaching him that you can't use your quirk that way. You can't hurt yourself completely, disabling yourself, and expect to be a hero. It's not going to work out for you. So he uses one tip of his finger and tosses that ball real high, and he's like, okay, all right, what do you think now, teacher? I may not be able to use my finger, but hey, I'm still ready to go. So obviously, Izuka has yet to control his power still, but he's going to have to work on it. And that's what Almighty had told him. You've got to work on it. It just won't happen overnight. Controlling that power will take time. It'll happen eventually. One day you'll be able to control all your powers, and you'll be the best superhero ever. But you got to learn to control it, and that takes time, my friend. And episode in a nutshell. I very enjoyed this series. I hope you all are enjoying it too. It's awesome. Okay, it's great. You guys should watch it if you're not. It's really a good series, trust me. And it's got a dub. Yay! I finally got that right. Second one, 3 leaves, 3 colors. We're jumping right into this one because if you've seen my last sub-corner, you know how much I love this anime because of the girls. The girls are funny. So I was a little scratching my head when the first scene came, because I guess it was supposed to be a flashback of Yoko and her classmates coming over, and they were doing little rich girl things. I guess they were trying to be business ladies. It was funny. It was really funny. And then it goes back to the scene which we're supposed to have every beginning of episodes. They were sitting around eating their lunch. First things first, they were discussing childhood memories, which was funny because Yoko's childhood memories was the scene where she's a high class lady and they're sitting around discussing like high class ladies, and then Fuda's background memory, which is funny, is she goes home and her mom's like, I got bread, and she's there sitting there eating all this bread with jam. It's like, Mom, I'm home. What's for dinner? Oh, I got some bread here. And she's like, oh, yum, 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 eating bread. And then, for some reason, Taru, I know they call her a different name. I cannot pronounce her last name. I'm very sorry about that. So I'll just call it Taru. That's her first name. Her memory flashes back to a Christmas moment where she wanted I think she wanted a white kitty, and she got like a red kitty, and she was sad because Santa didn't send her the right kitty, and then she was sitting in her room thinking Santa didn't send me the right kitty because I must have been a bad girl, and then maybe I'll be a better good girl next year, and then she's like, or am I? And then that's how you became the demon that you are. The next scene is basically them going to a cheeseburger restaurant. I guess it's some type of, I guess it's like a McDonald's, Wendy's type thing, because Yoko never been to a restaurant, a fast food joint, and that was her dream. She wanted to go to a fast food restaurant, sit down and have a burger, and they're like, okay, let's go. They went together, and they sit down and they had a burger, and she's like, yay, my dream. And they were sitting around, and then they started discussing hobbies. And it's funny. Yoko was like, you know what would make this burger better? Mayonnaise. That girl just loves some mayonnaise. They were discussing their hobbies, and the Fubuta's hobby is supposed to be cooking, and Taru's hobby was, I guess, cats or something like that. I'm not for sure about that. I'm sorry, man. I even just watched it, and it just went out the window. Sorry about that. I know she likes cats, and they were just, having their burger, and then they left the restaurant, and then this kid shows up, and he's like, yo, Onisan. Oh, they were talking about, also they were talking about siblings, because Taru has an older sister, and, and Futoba's like, it would be nice to have a sibling, and they're like, all right, yeah. And then I like how the fact that when Taru's older sister came in there and she was eating like some type of plant or fruit, I don't know what she was eating, and they said it was some type of something that you were supposed to cook apparently, because it's like, did you stir fry it? She's, no, I'm having it raw, and she's like, oh, nom 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 nom. And I'm like, okay. And then I like how Taru's like, yeah, are you guys really want a sister now? I like that. And then but the kid who comes up to Yoko and is like, Anisan, or big sis, and she's like, you have a younger brother? And she's like, no, he's this kid. And then he's like, no, I'm engaged to Yoko. And they're like, whoa. And she's like, no, it was, it's nothing formal. It was just, silly little kid, And he's like, no, he's being a kid. But, I guess Yoko's just pushing it off like it's nothing, but the kid takes it serious. And it's funny, after the meeting with Yoko, he goes by and he meets Stalker Dude or Butler Dude, and he's like, oh, you're still here? What are you trying to do here? Huh? Blah, 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 blah. Like he really is engaged to her. That was a little funny. The other thing in this episode, which is episode 4, I may have forgot to say that, is the fact that there's a kitty war between Taru and her rival girl with the pink hair. Oh, jeez. I want to get to know her name, too, because this is getting a dub, too. So I'm going to get every name for you eventually once that dub happens. I'll be watching that dub. But there was like a keyboard, because the pink-haired rival girl was there. She was looking at this book. And it was had every cats in it, and Taru's cat. She took a picture of her kitty, and she submitted to the magazine, and her kitty was in there. And they had this like a little kitty war. It was pretty cool. She's like, my kitty's cuter than your kitty, and she's like, my kitty's cute. And then at the end, they're like petting invisible kitties. It's hilarious. And then Pink Hair Girl goes home, and she tries to take a picture of her kitty, and that was pretty funny too, because she could never get her cat a picture of her little kitty how she wanted, and she's like, she says she doesn't envy animal photographers. I like that line. I got that one. I seen that one. That was pretty cool in this episode. When they had their lunch again, that's Futaba, Taru, and Yoko. They always have their lunch. And Futaba, that girl loves bread, man. She's got a blanket over on the side with like a bunch of bread. There's like a huge loaf and a bunch of other little bread there, man. That girl just loves some bread. And so they're sitting around, and Futaba says, well, I can't go home with you guys today. Because I have to go get my little cousin. And it's like, okay, hey, can we go with you? They're like, sure. I like this fact, okay? because they were discussing pets. That's what they were discussing, because Yoko's like, oh, I wish I could have a cat, but my apartment won't allow me. And then it's like, well, why don't you move? And he's like, no, that's gonna be hard on me. And then Futaba says, you already have a dog. And this is the funny part. She gave her a stick and say, just throw it in there and say, throw it and say fetch. And she's like, okay. So she throws it and says fetch, and then Butler dude jumps out of nowhere and grabs the stick and in midair. Oh, that was hilarious. Then as they go to get the cousin, they're talking some more, and this is a slice of life, so they're always talking. And as they meet the younger cousin of Futaba, Yoko goes up there and she's like, "Oh, she's adorable," and she's like, "Yep, that's me. I'm adorable." And then Yoko's like, "Whoa, confidence, cocky, aren't you?" And then what's funny is she's got like a ton of luggage. Okay, so they this is what Futaba, she's like, I could use some help with this. And he's like, oh, so this is what the help you're talking about. And so this is the funny part, because she's like, okay. Yoko's like, okay. They get the stick out and they throw it, and here comes Butler dude. It's like a Pokeball now. The stick is, Butler dude, I choose you, go. And then you see him in the background carrying the luggage up for her. And then little I guess the little kid dude who was in there earlier, he came up to Yoko and was like, here's some beef, because apparently Yoko loves beef. And she's there sparkling and all doing this little singing thing with this package of beef in her hand, and she's like, you're Yoko, right? You just said that it's nothing formal, right, Yoko? Because Futaba's little cousin, she jumps on him and is like, hey! Apparently they're classmates. Apparently both Futaba's cousin and this kid, they're classmates, and apparently, and Yoko's all in this little beef type world. It's steak. Let's just say what it is. It's steak. And then next day after school, during school lunch, and Yoko is like, oh, she's down, she's depressed. And I was like, you were so excited, you got beef yesterday, what happened? And she tells the story. Well, I went home and I decided I want to cook this for myself. Unfortunately, she got burnt food. She charcoaled it. Yeah. My dad's burnt biscuit looked better than what she put on her plate. And so, for being the friend, she was like, you know what? Remember when I told you my hobby is cooking? You still have some, right? Yeah, I'll go over there. I'll cook some more. I'll cook it for you. We'll have it all together. We sit down. And that's what happened. They went over to Yoko's place. She cooked the meat properly. And they sit down and had a good meal together, and they talked about it, and they talked about being friends, and it was a pretty good scene, a touching moment, And she's like, you know what? She likes making food for other people, and she loves food. That's her hobby, So at the end, she's like, you know what? You want some more? Let's go make some more. And she gets up and basically the end of the episode was basically that, and it was really cool. It was a really touching ending. I'm really like this anime. It's a really slice of life. I chose these three shows for a reason, and I can't wait to see the dub of that. And I really hope that this next one that we're going to talk about gets a dub sooner or later, which is Ace Attorney Objection. Oh my, this is a fun. This episode is a little humorous because Ryuichi, okay, he's sitting at the desk. He's all depressed because they haven't had a client in forever. Uh, uh, the girl who's with him, she's watching some child show apparently, and she's all excited about it, and she's telling him how cool it is, and he's like, "Oh, that's not gonna pay the bills. It's not gonna pay the rent. We need a client sooner or later." So I guess it went to him sleeping in his bed. I guess they were trying to make a flashback, but then they said, "Fine, we'll screw this flashback." And he gets a phone call. She's like, "Oh no, the dude, he killed the main character in this show I'm watching. He killed the villain." And he's like, "Isn't that what he's supposed to be? Not in TV. In real life, we've got to defend him." So they went to the jail place where he was incarcerated, and then they talked a bit, and he's trying to figure out, well, tell me this story. The dude tells him this story. They had a little scene. He hurt his ankle, and he laid down and took a nap throughout the rest of the night, rest of the afternoon, and then when he came to and he went to go back on the scene, his friend, who was the actor who was supposed to be the bad, I'm not assuming his friend. I mean, usually actors, even if they're playing good guys and bad guys, they're usually friends. At the end, because I've watched some commentary where both actors were talking and having a friendly conversation, but in the movie one was the good guy and one was the bad guy. It's cool like that. That's fine. That's their job. Their job and their personal lives are separate. That's with anybody. So the whole thing is basically they're trying to pin the dude's murder on the poor good guy character. And I don't know why, but apparently every time, because the security guard lady, she caught him on the camera, which wasn't even him. Okay, so basically, the scene of the crime, he came to the scene of the crime as himself, not in his costume, as himself. And when he woke up, he went to go see how things were going, if they're ready for him, and they didn't. The poor antagonist was dead with the prop in his chest, so they initially blamed it on him. Apparently, there was a camera that caught somebody in his costume killing the guy, or going to kill the guy. Apparently, the murder would take place at 2 p.m. or a little after 2 p.m. So I don't get how he got put in jail for this, because obviously, to me, why would he wear his costume? I mean, I believe the dude's story, okay? I believe that he was asleep, all right? Because when you hurt yourself, okay, when you lay down, you're going to go and you're going to sleep, all right? The first thing you're going to do is sleep. They should have got like a doctor in there, and I know the game probably wouldn't have done that, but a doctor would tell you, the first things first, if you hurt yourself, you should rest. The first thing you need is to rest, and you need to stay off of it. That's what a doctor would tell you. Rest up and stay off of it and let it heal on its own. Because there's nothing really they can do, especially when you sprain your ankle or something like that, So, the whole thing was a little weird because Ryuichi's trying to figure it out. He goes to the studio, and his she's supposed to be his secretary now. He helped her in her case that was supposed to be his mentor's younger sister. And she's all excited because she gets to go to the studio where her favorite show is created. And, it's like, hey, we're here to investigate this murder. We're not here to have fun. But, she's going to have fun anyway. I mean, so, when they get there, the guard lady, the old guard lady, she's there. just telling them that they can't come here. You're not allowed in here. Blah 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 blah. And then what's funny is the detective dude shows up and he's like, oh, I know him. And so they go in and they let Ryuichi go in and investigate. And there's this kid there who apparently is a fanboy, and he drops a book and it shows his little pages of art for the show because he's a fanboy. Hey, or pictures, however you want to say it. So the next thing they go, Ryuichi goes in there and he interviews a couple people and he looks around, and the day of the trial starts, and it doesn't look like he's too much prepared, and but he's prepared enough, and he has to face that dude, the prosecutor dude who never loses a case, Ryu, I think his name is. I'm sorry if that's not his real name, but anyway, so after the opening statement from the prosecutor, they bring up the witness. It's the guard, the old lady guard, and first things first, this witness does not seem a high-tail witness. She doesn't seem, her credentials does not seem very well spoken with me, because the first things first, she's there going, being all granny towards the prosecutor, and she's like, "Oh, just call me Granny. Call me Granny. Everybody calls me Granny." And she's. I like how they show the picture, okay, and they're playing the judge because because this was their big evidence, the picture of a person in a suit, and they're trying to pin it on the defendant. Well. Yeah, he plays that dude. He's in the suit, but he only wears that suit when he's going to go do the movie. Why would he constantly wear the suit? That's not my client, and that's what Ryuichi was trying to say was, this ain't him. And you know what? The judge is like, yeah. When the judge is like, yeah, that's him, and everybody else in the courtroom is like, yep, no, you're wrong. That's your client. See here, his foot's hurt. And I like how Ryuichi comes to the conclusion, oh, well, obviously it has to be the grandma guard at the gate, because she knows everything. She would have been there to know that he went to sleep. She could have got the costume. She would have known that the camera would take his picture, so she could have just crouched down and showed like he hurt himself. Look, even in her testament, it's like her duct taping the prop because the prop was broken, and it's like, oh, we duct taped it together, and they were showing how heavy it was because they originally thought Ryuichi was going to blame it on the kid, and Ryuichi's like, no, it's her, and then she goes all crazy because they're about to give Ryuichi a day, and basically, she comes out and says, well, there's other people. There were other people there that day. There were other people. And then everybody's like, oh, geez, now we have to do some more investigating. The judge had pushed the date for another day, so they have another day to save this dude for a crime he did not commit, and I'm pretty sure he didn't do it. Maybe I'm wrong. Like I said, if you played the game, you probably already know. I don't really know. I've never played the game, so in my opinion, he's innocent until proven guilty. And well, that's my opinion. Well, that's about it for this corner. I'm gonna have to do some editing, and if you like the video, hit the thumbs up button. If you don't like the video, hit the thumbs down button. Subscribe if you want, and until next time, bye bye.